What's up, beautiful people? Today we're going to check out chord licks. Now, I know what you're thinking, who the hell does that, right? But this is how you sound tasty. Now we're going to get beyond like the double stops, any of that kind of basic neo soul stuff that I've talked about a lot of times on this channel, and we're going to look at like licks, and we're really going to implement a couple of simple ideas that's just going to build the whole neck for you and make your rhythm playing sound very interesting, exciting, and tasty. All right, so we're going to start with the key of D major right here. D major. And it's going to be really, really simple, okay? So we're going to start by just thinking a little bit easier and just thinking like the relative minor. So what's the relative minor of D major? Yeah, you got it. B minor, okay? So we're going to take it right here. We're just going to think like this first, just to kind of get this together here. And it's going to go like this. We're going to take the B minor chord, and all we're going to do is go down one chord. So that's going to be A major. And we're going to think triads, right? Because we want it to be really, really simple. And all we do is go between B minor, A major, B minor, A major, right? So really simple from right here. Top three strings, B minor, then A major, then B minor, then A major. Just kind of going across like that. And it's a cool little move, really simple. And we could do this actually across the whole neck. Anytime we want to go and make kind of like a cool move in D major or B minor, we can go between those two triads, B minor, A major, B minor, A major, B minor, A major. Yeah. All right. So now to make it a lick, we could simply just do what I just did. That's it. That's it, right? And maybe I can make it a little bit more tasty. Maybe I want to slide into that B minor. So that's like the lick. That's the idea. But what I want to do is kind of pay attention to what song I'm playing, what the groove is, and make it fit with the groove, okay? So I'm going to take this song right here that I really like. That's For the Love of You by Isley Brothers, all right? That's in the key of D major. We're going to make it nice and easy. And we're going to jam along with this. And one of the tricks that you always want to remember is it's a fill, right? Meaning we want to wait for an empty spot, a space to fill in, right? And most commonly, just generally speaking, that's going to be in between the vocals. So we want to hear them grooving and singing. And when there's an open space, we pop in that fill. And we want to catch that groove, okay? So what I'm going to do is jam over the verse, and it's going to go from G over A, and it's going to go to our one chord, D major 7. That's where I can do the fill. But that's already kind of easy. Let's throw in an extra little fill just to immediately drop some extra spice in there. And I'm going to make this really, really simple, okay? So it's just going to be double stops, but we're not even going to get that crazy. And we're just going to think about it like this. We see the pattern right here on the 7th fret, and I'm going to go like this. That's it. That's it. That's the idea. It's just that simple, and I could resolve on whatever chord I'm at. If I'm going to end it on the D major 7, I could keep it right there. If I'm going to bring it over to the beginning chord again, the G over A, I could do it right there, okay? So let's try this out. Let's jam this out and see how this really, really simple two fills kind of feel along with the verse of the song.
Drifting on a memory, ain't no place I'd rather be than with you. Yeah, loving you. Well, day will make a way for night. All we'll need is candlelights and a song. Yeah, soft and long. Well, glad to be.
So beautiful and so simple. That's all you got to do. And we could take this any number of ways, but let's actually just jump right to the very next thing and figure out how we just keep applying this to every song that we know, okay? So the next song I want to think about is Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Really, really amazing song. Not that big of a key change from where we're at. It's just going to be an E flat major. Hey, yeah. And the chord progression is also fairly simple. It's just got a nice, sexy groove. It goes from E flat major, E flat over G, just a first inversion, to 4, A flat, and then B flat, right? Now, what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to go, okay, E flat. Maybe it's a little bit easier for me to think of the relative minor, which is C minor. So I got my shape right there, and I'm going to find those two chords, the C minor, B flat, C minor, B flat. I'm just going to find that lick in the key. And then even like the other one that I did, the really simple, just moving around the pentatonic. Simple, but just a little bit of movement, a little bit of movement. So I'm going to be playing around with these chords. I could be playing with them. But this one kind of moves a little bit quickly, right? So maybe I want to do something like that, where I go right to that A flat. So that's kind of the thing that I'm talking about, where, yeah, it's one to find the key and get comfortable with the key. That's always step one. But then you want to think about the groove and the song that you're playing, right? You're not always going to be in a one chord vamp. So you want to be ready for that. And that's the challenge and the beauty of this stuff, because it's really never going to get boring or stale, and you're never really going to sound repetitive if you play these same licks in every single song, because it's always a little bit different. And it's just something to do, something to just add some excitement there. Okay, so let's vibe on this song for a hot second and just take those two simple changes and see if we can make them sound cool and make the song sound a little bit hipper.
We're all sensitive people with so much to give. Understand each other, since we got to be listening. I love you.
So I think that sounds pretty dope, right? There's a lot of different things that we could do, and especially if you've been following this channel for a second, all these other different kinds of cool rhythm licks or rhythm moves that you could do to add on top of that. And then we're just, we could start blending them all together and just become a really, really exciting dynamic player in the rhythm category. And you could even add it to your lead too, but we're not going to technically think about that right now. We're just going to lock in our rhythm playing and our rhythm fills, all right? So, now the next thing, let's add a little bit more to it. Let's make it a little bit more spicy, all right? So I'm going to go back to our key of D major. We're going to keep thinking, go back to thinking about that Isley Brothers song, all right? And what we're going to do, I'm in the key of E major. D major, D. That's two sharps, baby. F sharp, C sharp. Do you know that? I don't know. Maybe you do now. All right, so here we go. D major, I'm going to think the same thing, right? I'm going to think B minor, and I'm going to think those two triads, B minor, A major, B minor, A major. And it's going to be like this. And again, let me say this too. The way that I think about this a lot, I know I said B minor, D major, and I tend to put D major and B minor in the exact same thing. Because the D major triad over B is a B minor 7 chord. Yeah. And then the B minor triad over D is a D6 chord. So when it comes to the difference between those two triads, a D major triad and a B minor triad, they're essentially the same thing, and harmonically they work ambiguously? No, that's not the right word. I don't know what the right word is, but they work the same no matter what. So actually I'm playing a D major triad right here, and then A major and A major, okay? So we won't worry too much about some of the things that I say, but we're going to look at it like this. Here's the move, and that's really what we want to get down. Now I love this little chord. Here's a juicy little chord right here. Now what I'm doing, what does that look like? If we're in the key of D, that's basically like a D sus, kind of, right? And I go back to my A and resolve on D. So there's a lot of movement there. So if you're new to these triad shapes, and even just this run in general, take your time with it at first. Always take your time with anything. But we're going to look at it just like that. And what's going to make it sound cool and interesting is that movement and that complete flow of all those together. You don't want to make it choppy. You don't want to, I mean, you can mess with the rhythm when you get comfortable with it, but you want it to sound like you know what you're doing, right? So you want to practice this move. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, one more really, really simple thing. We've done a lot of things like this on this channel before. If we have our D major 7 chord, we have our voicings that can move up from there. So one of them would be this, and another one might be this. But we're going to move it around just a little bit, because when it comes to moving chords around, you want to think of voice leading like very, very simply. And the simple part is just having one, like the top or the bottom moving, right? That's the simplest kind of approach. And even more simple, just the top. And that's what we're going to look at right here. So I want this top note moving, and that's going to sound nice, and that's going to, again, give it literally movement, right? So we're going to take this shape right here. Then we're going to go right here. I'm going to bar it, just keep that high note moving down. And then right there. Just simple, just simple. Do like half notes, and then a little dubstep thing right there. And I just want y'all to remember this. That alone, like if I think about playing that as half notes, right? That alone can sound really, really tasty. Like what sounds good is unique and different, not always fast. So if you're playing like fast runs all the time, okay, yeah, maybe it's going to impress like some people for a hot second, but your average listener is going to be like, what is this guy doing? You know? So you want to add some, that's what excitement is. Excitement is like, oh, I didn't see that coming. You know, I can do a little fast thing, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and what's wonderful about those slower movements is when they resolve perfectly like that. And that's why we want to take licks like this and do it, because it's just when it goes slow but it resolves so perfectly, it just sounds great. Okay, so now let's just take just those two ideas, jam it over our little Isley Brothers song, and see how it sounds.
Smoother than a gentle breeze, flowing through my mind with ease, soft as can be. Well, when you're loving me, love to be right in the way.
All right, now what do we do to lock these licks in? We play them in different songs, we play them in different keys, we play them in different feels, okay? So we're gonna do just what we've been doing. We're gonna kick it over to Let's Get It On, and we're gonna find the same thing in E flat major, okay? So, man, what was that first one? This is where it gets a little tricky, right? You wanna see the pattern, C minor, right here at the end of the C minor pattern. I'm always trying to relate things back to those basic patterns, particularly that money pentatonic scale that we all know. I always want to find the key, find that scale, maybe find the other one over here. If we're in E flat, it's going to be C minor on the 3rd fret, right? I want to see those two scales and just get my mind situated when I see the fretboard, and then all of a sudden it's just not all these frets. It's not the 21 or 22, however many frets you got. It's literally all the shapes placed right there. So that's always what I want to see, and it's going to be the basically the foundation for me to be able to find these licks. All right. So I'm not looking at an E flat triad, even though I am, but I'm looking at an E flat triad in the context of this shape. I know my C minor shape's right here. I know my E flat shape. Okay, cool. Then I can go like this. I'm not necessarily thinking, even though it is in my mind, I understand it, I'm not so much thinking only E flat to B flat. I'm thinking this shape to that shape in the context of that scale shape. Okay? So now I could see that and start to put these couple of things together. And then that's what I got, that same lick in E flat. All right, sweet. Now let's think about that next lick. It's a major 7 lick, and it really, like, literally brings out that major 7. In E flat, it's going to be a D note, and this is where you want to start to use your musical knowledge to judge these licks and determine these licks, because not every lick works anywhere. And this is an important one, because if we listen to Let's Get It On, it's actually not an E flat major 7. So you don't really hear the na na na. That's not the song. It's E major or E flat major. Right? Very triad. Very triad, very bluesy. So we don't really want to bring that out, and this like everything about that particular lick just accentuates that that major 7, which we don't really want. But this one, that actually, I feel like that one kind of works. So we're gonna take what we know now and think about that and be like, all right, I'm not gonna play that lick over this song, and I'm not gonna worry about it. Another time, another place, but I'm gonna try and see if I can make that one work and see what that sounds like. And that's part of the journey too. It's like, what is going to sound nice in this song, and can I make it sound nice? Will it not work? Are the general harmonies of the song and the key of song not really working with this lick or not? That's part of the practice and part of the journey, part of the ear training. But let's see if this lick works. I think it will, but let's find out. I think we're sounding pretty dope. We got 4 awesome ideas, and we have an understanding of how to move them in different songs. That's really the most important part. Now, what I want you all to do is exactly what I just said. Work out these ideas in all the different parts, all the different songs, all the different keys, and one of the important things is just to drill them until they're memorized. And that's why I wanted to keep it simple. Right? We just want to boil out these ideas and just have them really, really in our head, because that's the most important part. You can download the tab, like I'll have the tabs at the Patreon and everything, and you could look at the tabs all day, but that's only just the information in front of you. Now, the real work and the real benefit that you're going to get out of this is if you memorize it, and that's why I made it as simple as possible. Take the first 2, and then take the next 2. Don't try and do all of them at once, just 1 at a time. I guess I said 2, but maybe 2 at a time. But for starters, just remember, it's really simple. Just that part. It's simple at first, but when you start to play a song, your mind just kind of goes blank, right? Because there's so many things happening in a song, and you want to hit the changes, you want to play whatever the parts are, and it's like, oh wait, what's that one thing, that one lick? How do like it? It's harder than at first, right? Especially if we're talking about really making it part of your playing and making it like an improvisational thing. Okay, so you got to really just drill it. And what I would suggest is, I made this awesome songbook of charts of like 40 songs. I can't remember how it is, 40 or 45. Classic R&B songs, like must-know songs that are wonderful, perfect songs to jam to, and just standards that you're going to encounter in any jam situation. So what I would suggest is look through that chart book and play around with them. The charts, the songs, the chords are right in front of you, and just be like, okay, what key am I in? Figure out that lick, jam with the song, you got the chords, and be like, okay, jam with it and try and hit those changes and bring in those licks. And you're probably going to fall on your face at first. Like every new thing, you'd always just mess it up. You mess it up, then you get a little bit better, then you get a little bit better, and then it starts to really sink in and you start to get really good at it. All right? So that's what I suggest. All that stuff is at my Patreon, tabs for all these licks. And and the songbook, the whole chart, man. This thing's awesome. I'm really proud of it actually, because it's all the must know songs. It's what you gotta have. Okay, but let's not stop there. I got one more of my like favorite licks. It's just a lot of fun to play. It sounds really cool. I stole this from Paul Jackson Jr. And it's just awesome, man. It's just awesome. So we're gonna go back to our key of D major, right? D major, yeah. All right. Now I'm gonna think about it like this. This is my D major triad right here, and this is my D major chord. Right, let's think about it. Here's my D major chord. Here's my D major chord. Here's my D major chord. Right. So I'm gonna go across there. It's a whole thing going on, right? So we're kind of doing the sus thing. All right, now that's a juicy one. All right, so I'm gonna leave you with this. I'm gonna try and jam it with that Isley Brothers song, since it is in the key of D major, and we're gonna see how it sounds. I want you to check all these songs, check out these vibes, lock it in. I want you to be a better player. Hit me up. Let me know how you're doing. Keep jamming and stay nasty.
Using words to try to say what I feel. Yeah, love is real. Oh, love is real. Ooh. I might as well sign my name on a card which can say it better. Time will tell, 'cause it seems